Hello everyone. In previous two videos, I have explained setter injection and constructor injection. In this video, I am going to explain different types of auto wiring modes. Okay. For your easy reference, I have given the nodes for dependency injection and auto wiring. See, dependency injection, just for your recap, dependency injection can be done through setter injection or constructor injection. Setter injection is done by using setter methods. Spring internally uses setter methods, and for constructor injection, parameterized constructor is required in the class, and Spring uses parameterized constructor to populate the dependencies. Okay, if the for the object type, use the ref attribute in the property tag, and if it is primitive, use value attribute. Same with constructor injection, but the tag name will be constructor org instead of property tag. Okay, if you see here, you can understand this constructor org is for constructor injection, and the property tag is for setter injection. Ref is when we want to inject the dependency of reference type, that is object type, and if it is primitive value, if we need to inject the value, we use value tag. Now let us see what is auto wiring. I have given you a simple definition or meaning of for that here in the comments in the notes section. Okay, using auto wiring, we can implicitly inject dependencies without explicitly using property or constructor or to inject dependencies. If you see my previous videos, we are using either property for setter injection or constructor or tag for constructor injection. So using auto wiring, it is very easy to inject the dependencies. We need not explicitly define the property or constructor or tags in the configuration file. We simply need to specify the auto wiring mode or type in the configuration. Okay, let us go back to configuration. Can you see? There are different modes as I explained. First, we see what is by name. Okay, and note that you cannot inject primitive types using auto wiring. Auto wiring is only for object types. Okay, since employee count is primitive type, we are using constructor or property tag. Let us see the setter injection with auto wiring. Property name is equal to emp count, value is equal to 20. Okay, now if you see this bean definition, I have skipped this line completely because we need not explicitly define the dependency. We just need to mention the type of auto wiring. Since we mentioned by name, what it means is Spring, Spring tries to find a bean with ID same as property name. What is the property name of the employee service? This is the dependency, right? What is the dependency name in the employee controller? EMP SER. So Spring, whenever auto wiring is given as by name, it tries to find out if there is any bean definition with ID as property name. Can you go back to configuration and see, is there any bean with ID as EMPS here? No, right? So let us run this and see what happens. We got null pointer exception. It is because since we specified auto wire is equal to by name, Spring tried to find a bean in configuration file with id as empscr. It didn't find anything, so dependency injection is not completed, so it is null. That is why we got null pointer exception. So what we should do, let us copy this value and make a bean. So now Spring can find a bean with ID same as property name empscr, right? So Spring can now inject the dependency. Let us see if we get expected output. Run as. So now Spring is able to inject the dependency without explicitly specifying ref tag. We skipped this entire line because using auto wiring, Spring can match the bean ID with property tag, and if it can find any bean, it will inject automatically. Implicitly, it injects the dependency. This is called auto wiring by name. So in auto wiring is equal to by name, remember there should be one bean with the value id value same as property name. Okay, let us go back to by type. Okay, I have already told you that for primitive types we cannot do auto wiring. That is why I kept this line as it is in the previous example. In Let us make this xyz. In auto wiring is equal to by name, it gave null pointer exception because id value doesn't match with the property name. Now I given I gave the auto wiring as by type, and let us see if we get exception or not. Surprisingly, we got the output when using by type, even though the property name and the bean ID doesn't match it, the dependency got still injected. Why? Because auto wire is equal to by type tries to find a bean of employee service. It doesn't look at the name. It doesn't look at this part. It only checks whether is there is any if there is any bean of type employee service. Since employee JDBC IMPL is implementing the employee service, Spring is able to find a bean of type employee service. That is why it is able to inject the dependency. So in by type mode, auto wiring is equal to by type name, property name, and ID value need not match. The only requirement is there should be a bean of class is equal to employee service. Okay. What happens if we have two beans of same type? Let us do that. I will make this ABC and run this. Run as Java application. Can you see the error? The problem is in by type, when Spring is searching for a bean of type employee service, there are two beans. So it has thrown the exception saying that there are like it is throwing exception saying that it is expecting only single bean of type employee service, but it found two, one with xyz id and one with abc. So what we have to remember, whenever we use by type, there should be only one bean of type employee service. So now if I run it again, we don't get any exception. This is called by type. Okay. Now we see, you know that in constructor org we use constructor org tag, right? Kind of for the constructor injection. Now we make this auto wiring by auto wiring type as constructor. Now what happens? Auto wiring is equal to constructor is same as auto wiring is equal to by type, but the only difference is internally it uses constructor injection. In the previous two modes, like auto wiring is equal to by name, in by name it tries to find a bean with id value same as property name. After finding, it uses internally setter injection. In auto wiring is equal to by type, it tries to find a bean of type employee service, and after that it uses internally again setter injection. But in constructor auto wiring is equal to constructor. In this mode, it will first try to find out a bean with the type as employee service, but it uses constructor injection, not the setter injection. That is the difference. Note this point. Okay. So auto wiring is equal to constructor in this mode. Since it internally uses constructor injection, we should have parameterized constructor in the employee controller class. Okay. In auto wiring is equal to by name and auto wiring is equal to by type, it internally uses setter injection. So we should have setter methods. Okay, that is the difference between auto wiring is equal to constructor. And let us run this code, run as Java application. So we got the output. Now if you want to test, if you remove the parameterized constructor, we get error because Spring tries to use parameterized constructor, right? Can you see? It is not able to inject because the parameterized constructor is, can you see, could not resolve matching constructor because we are using constructor injection. And what is the default? If you don't give anything, auto wiring mode, if you don't give any mode by default, it is going to be no. Okay, if you don't specify anything, then what it means, then auto wiring doesn't happen, and we need to explicitly use either property tag or constructor, or we need to explicitly use. The default mode is no. Okay, hope you understand. If you like, please subscribe to my channel and please share your valuable comments in the comment section. Thank you.